Finding the right beauty products based on your unique skin type to achieve that perfect makeup look is a different ballgame altogether that we don't expect everyone to understand. But hey, times are changing because what if I tell you that a new ally has emerged in the beauty landscape? Hi, I am Ankita Pahwa, your host at follow.us/startups. Today we are diving into the world of innovation with Orbo.ai, an AI research company that's reshaping the beauty industry as we know it. Their flagship product, Beauty GPT, powered by artificial intelligence, is here to answer all your makeup and skincare related questions and more. You might even remember them from their stellar pitch on this season of Shark Tank. Hands down, they left an indelible mark. And today I'm thrilled to introduce you to Manoj Shinde, the CEO and co-founder of Orbo.ai. With a track record of strategic leadership spanning 2 decades, Manoj brings a wealth of expertise in retail, computer vision, and effective global market liaison to the table. Hi, Manoj. Welcome to Follow Startups.
Hi Ankita, good to be here.
You're most welcome, Manoj. So before we jump into the world of Orbo.ai,
Mhm.
I'm curious about the journey that brought you here. So could you share a bit about your background and that light bulb moment along the way that led you to dive into the world of beauty AI?
Great. I think my background spans, as you rightly said, 20 years into the industry, largely focused on the retail side of the story. I've spent about 14 years in the US, worked with some of the marquee companies like Adidas, Reebok, Ralph Lauren, Quicksilver, largely focused on techno-commercial role. My Cube Light moment sort of came in 2010 when I started an innovation lab for Adidas in Boston, and that is when I was given a chance to build an innovation cell in a room called about 12 by 12 room, where I started the journey. Within 6 months of our efforts into innovation within the small sphere of our office, the CIO took a note of that, and then eventually the same innovation lab turned into an innovation program for Adidas. So that's been a very pivotal moment in my life where a small effort that we started putting into the innovation turns out to be the enterprise-wide or a company-wide innovation program. So eventually, I became the not only the torchbearer of innovation, but also built or rather became the facilitator of innovation as well. I brought in the first augmented reality platform back in 2010, 2011, connecting the physical footwear stores to augmented reality, so bringing physical and virtual together. So that's how the AR capability that came into the market. And much before your Pokemon Go came into existence or the AR hype that you see today, we dabbled into augmented reality almost 13, 14 years back. So that has been the pivotal moment. And obviously, fast forward, eventually Reliance brought me here to head the e-commerce. I've been associated with them for quite some time. Eventually, went back to the US, did a lot of research with MIT Media Lab, the professors from Stanford and the University of Montreal to learn about the basics and the underlying technology that requires for camera and imaging. And my love for camera obviously started with the advent of innovation that I built for Adidas back in 2010 with augmented reality. That sort of pushed me into the realm of understanding that tomorrow's world will be driven by the visual interaction or visual communication. So I've been extremely gung ho about that pattern that came out in 2010 and eventually in 2015 when I was doing research on computer vision and an artificial intelligence. I took that learnings and understanding from my learnings from those professors and research work, and came back to India eventually to start Orbo AI as a first AI research company. Right? So the mandate was very, very different with Orbo AI. I mean, typically, if you see most of the startups in India, they start with the mindset of building a product, building an application, building a platform, and then they get into the market. Vis-a-vis, Orbo started with a very, very different mindset. We decided to build IPs, intellectual properties, and a lot of core research in artificial intelligence. Right? And when we started, obviously, there were hardly any tools or ecosystem that existed back then, right? People didn't even know more so about AI. The Eureka moment came about AI when Chat GPT started and people started to understand what AI is all about. And after that, rest is history. So yeah, that's a bit about me and myself.
Thanks for sharing that, Manoj. So, let's dive into the heart of Orbo.ai, which is your star player, particularly Beauty GPT. So, paint us a picture of what it is and what pain point it sets out to resolve.
Great question, Ankita, and I think I would have really wanted to ask you this question to me because that's really close to my heart. So, look, I think before Beauty GPT, we started Orbo almost, or Orbo's beauty incursion, literally 14 months back, where we had do-it-yourself approach or a DIY products that were already available in the market, and we were selling it to the likes of Unilever and many of the beauty companies, right? Our learnings from those DIY products, really compelled us to understand that how many people actually know about beauty as a whole, right? So today, if I ask you a question, Ankita, let's just say if you have flaky skin and you were to buy some skincare product yourself, right? What are the chances that you would actually know about what regime or what tool or what cream that you would want to utilize it, right? It is invariably 98 to 99% of the women or men alone, right? They wouldn't know what exactly that actually going to help them out, right? So then they go to unidirectional platforms like Instagram, YouTube. They, hear most of these from influencers and tutorials and so on and so forth. But again, it's unidirectional, right? Because you're just hearing from one side of the story. They don't know who Ankita Pahwa is and what her problems are, right? So that is when we started to think about it that most of these platforms have unique problem of education and understanding, right? And that education and understanding has to correlate with the personal preferences and context, right? And that is when the journey of Beauty GPT started. And we used to get a lot of questions and remarks and not just remarks but a lot of queries from customers on our support channel asking, hey, I have hyperpigmentation and dark spot, what do I do? Or I have dark circle and I have dark spots on my face, what regime would you recommend, right? So those are the kind of questions started coming. Same thing with hair, same thing with makeup. There are a lot of questions people used to come. And similarly, these are the same questions. If you go to Amazon.com's review pages, you will learn these similar kind of question being asked. But how many times Amazon is actually taking up a mantle in their hand and responding to each and every question or each and every query. So that doesn't really happen. So we saw a great amount of untapped potential in understanding, making sure people should get that hyper personalized recommendation or education with the help of product, right? That's when Beauty GPT was born. So now Beauty GPT can not only understand your context, your intent, your preferences through means of by the through means of the prompt that you're writing, but at the same time, I'm also getting to know who you are as a person by looking at your image, right? So
Hmm.
fusion of that is when we start to understand how we can correlate some of the problems that you have with these solutions that are apt for your skin or for your skin problems and so on and so forth. So that's how the Beauty GPT is working behind the scene.
Interesting. So, today the beauty industry is honestly bustling with brands
Mhm.
offering their own personalized beauty advisory tools, like to name some Sephora and L'Oreal. So,
Mhm.
now amidst this very vibrant landscape, tell us what makes Beauty GPT shine? Like, what's your unique value proposition?
Two things that were missing in the market. One was customer centricity, and second was hyper personalization, right? Everything was driven by ads and offers and discounts, right? Now, if you go to Google and Facebook ads, all you do is that you're throwing some 20% off or 300 off or 100 rupees off, right? And then the customers who actually get lured by these offers and come back to you, they're not necessarily going to stick to you forever. So there's no loyalty piece that has ever been ingrained into this the existing system. And that is also one of the reason why most of the beauty companies never saw the daylight of profits, because there's still a lot of burning a lot of money. They're still dependent on a lot of venture capital funds, right? So that to spur that growth year after year, right? And I think somewhere these people started to realize after 2022 meltdown of SaaS that there is no end to this customer acquisition cost, right? Because out of 800, maybe five will find their best footing in the ground, become profitable, and do well. But what happens to the rest of the 795? Are they going to burn out? Are they going to shut down? Or are they just going to get consolidated with other brands, right? So there is a lot of unanswered segments in the industry, and that is what where we came into picture. I said we are giving you that additional hand, right? If the customer comes onto your platform, we are able to relay him to a proper information, proper education, so they are obviously going to stick to you, because you're offering that experience. The stickiness and the engagement will always be on the higher side. So today, if you've done some skin analysis on my platform, 15 days later or 30 days later, you would want to see that, okay, how my skin has evolved after the regime has been recommended to me. And hence, you're going to come back to your website. So that is how repeat will also be generated on the higher side. So those are a lot of tangential benefits that our platform can provide it to beauty and skincare brands.
So while we are on the subject of customers, could you walk us through the individuals or groups you primarily cater to?
So look, when we started, we essentially started as a B2B company, right? We cater to large enterprises like Unilever or L'Oreal's of the world. We also work with mid-market companies in terms of, their offering. Some of them could have, say, 50, 100, 200 SKUs. And we also deal with SMBs, which are small size D2C brands who are making their headwinds in the skincare or a beauty market. So for us, the consumer is the primary benefactor in this process, because from the day one, what we the vision that we've actually thought through is to empower these consumer with the education, understanding, and leveraging our AI to provide them a hyper personalized service. So if they are happy, naturally the brands are going to get the benefit of that.
So would you care to share some insights into your existing clients and maybe share how they have benefited from integrating any of your services?
See, look, I can't possibly dwell into the numbers and the ROIs to each and every
Hmm,
customer
of course, yeah.
that is enjoying with our platform. But I think by and large, if you look at, we are working with likes of Tata, Shopper Stop, working with ITC. We're working with global companies from Singapore to Japan to Spain and France, and obviously a lot of US customers are coming on board. We're also going into the smallest countries such as Estonia, Israel, and Cambodia. There are many countries who are coming forward, and also neighboring countries are also reaching out to us to avail our products and services. I think, and this is not because of Shark Tank. This has been happening much before the Shark Tank actually came in. Obviously, Shark Tank has added a fuel in our journey, and we're extremely happy with the results through Shark Tank. And I don't think we could have expected anything better than what has happened on the Shark Tank. We are considerably seeing the results, and the outcome of post Shark Tank effect is monumental for us, and we're highly obliged to that. But in terms of the consumer growth, we are seeing massive growth from across the world. There has been a lot of approaches that have happened from retail companies who would want to take a pie of our software and utilize in the regions of UAE, Saudi Arabia, Southeast Asia, Australia. There are many partners who are coming forward to align with us to take our technology, because somewhere deep down people relate to the problem that we are trying to solve, and it's a problem that has been unresolved for the longest time, right? And somewhere we also created a very seamless experience of giving an experience before buying something. If you have those things covered, I think the rest follows seamlessly for you.
So where would you position Orbo.ai in terms of its current stage of growth?
See, I think from the financial standpoint, I think we are somewhere in between the early revenues to growth. We are somewhere in between. As I said on the Shark Tank, and I can repeat here, we've been commercializing our product only for about last 13 to 14 months. So it's fairly new
Yeah.
when it comes to our commercial foray into the business. So it's very early days for us. But having said so, I think the kind of businesses that now we are working with, they're all large scale businesses, right? As I mentioned, some of the names such as Tata's,
Yeah.
Shoppers Stop, L'Oreal, Unilever, H&M, and many of these big brands are in conversation with us or have already adopted our solution and has started rolling out across pan India or globally. So there's there's plenty of clientele that we have in the pipeline, which is going to utilize or have already been utilized our solutions and stack.
So where's your office located?
So we're based in Mumbai, next to the airport.
Hmm. Okay. So Manoj, generative AI, the foundation
Hmm.
of your platform, it stands as one of the most exciting frontiers in technology today. And it's
Hmm.
amazing to see how many businesses are emerging because of it. So with that
Hmm.
being said,
Hmm.
how do you envision this space impacting your business segment? And where does Orbo fit into this evolving landscape? What do you think?
I think there are plenty of opportunities in generative AI. I think people are only scratching the surfaces with text generation and image generation, and I don't see they are typically the big opportunities. Generative AI as a whole, as a subject, can have a monumental effect on across the industries, across the segments, across the communities as well. If you look at my own segment, we're obviously as a beauty AI company, we've captured almost 60 to 70% of the generative AI essence of our industry. The remaining part is where we see potentially generative AI can be utilized is creating the research frontiers which can facilitate custom skincare regimes and so on and so forth. So, for example, customers who are staying in Hyderabad versus customers staying in Mumbai versus Jaipur could have different needs and could have different skin problems per se, right? So, sort of making one product fit for all may not be the right approach. So you will see 2 years, 3 years down the line, custom skincare products will come up based on your skin condition, based on your skin problems, and also physiological changes that happens in the human body, right? So that is a representation. Whatever happens in your entire body, that could potentially reflect on your skin as well. So it's a complete holistic understanding of your body and its impact and how it's resulting otherwise. So that space is where I feel that generative AI can be extremely helpful. The second part is also the backend data that you collect and how a marketing can be effectively managed using, for example, our tech, right? Previously, only demographic data was being captured, right? So male, female, location, age, gender, and so on and so forth. But imagine the amount of data that our product is able to capture, right? So the segmentation of those users and reaching out to the right set of audiences with the help of our, efficient data pipeline can also be another virtue for marketers to see it, instead of me throwing and spraying advertisement on Facebook and Google, right? Where I don't know who will basically stick to that particular ad and come back to you, and whether or not whether that traffic will be genuine traffic or just something which is non-useful traffic. In this case, now you have people who are utilizing these capabilities and service who are highly segregated, segmented, or identified as key value customers, which with your marketing effort you can reach out for a very very specific and personalized campaign. So I think that's the second area that I see could be very revolutionary area for generative AI as well.
Now, Manoj, I'm very curious about the pricing strategy that you have set in place for all the
Hmm.
services that you offer and how it varies
Hmm.
for different groups since you also cater to SMBs, small businesses. So, can you give us a
Hmm.
glimpse into the revenue model?
Rather than getting into the details of what the price point is, I'll just make it very simplified, right? We segregated our price as per the SMB, mid market, and enterprise because each one of them has different kind of consumption and different kind of visitor and traffic that comes to their website. Our aim is to democratize these solutions to everyone. So we didn't want to just stick around and say that, hey, because you're L'Oreal and Unilever, my solution is only meant for you because you can afford to pay, right? But we're also going to the small D2C companies and giving them the same, the strength and power of AI so that they can also build their own customer growth and so on and so forth. So somewhere we are democratizing the pricing for everybody to avail our services and product, right? As far as the offline gamut is concerned, where we are providing our software and a hardware together, that is again a rental business, because we feel that it's very simple economics is there. And when Piyush asked me this question today, I'm taking an opportunity to answer how simplified that pricing is, right? When we said that this is going to cost you 30,000 or roughly, we evaluated the salary of a beauty assistant or a sales associate who work in the beauty industry or the retail stores and so on. Now, they are definitely be given some sort of a target to achieve on a monthly basis, right?
Hmm.
Now, if my hardware and my software is adding even 1 lakh rupees or 2 lakh rupees worth of additional revenue to that retailer, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind spending that 30,000 rupees, right? That's one. The second thing is that this industry sees almost 40 to 60% of attrition rate. That means one salesperson coming in, he may not work more than 6 months in one company, move to the second company, right? So that means the longevity of the service does not exist, right? That means whatever learnings and understanding that I've gathered about, say retail partner A customer, right? It will go with me if I leave that retail brand and go to retail brand B, right? So that means if the customer comes back again, there's a new person at the helm who's treating that customer. But imagine the mirror doesn't change, the mirror stays with you. Mirror understands you as soon as you come back. So that means your knowledge stays with you, your learning stays with you. And there are so many salient benefits that the retail salesperson will not be able to replicate. Now imagine there are 1,000 SKUs inside your store. Is it possible, or rather, is it humanly possible for you to remember the strength and weaknesses of those products? It is impossible, right?
Hmm.
Second, would you ever possible to remember the ingredients that are part of these SKUs, right? It is again humanly impossible, right? But the mirror and the AI understands and recognizes that, right? So the retail salesperson will not be able to replicate or rather, replace mirror. What mirror does in return, it not only understands the customer, it hyper personalizes the recommendation, and it helps the salesperson to augment the experience and education, so that the retail salesperson will be able to sell the product better to their customer, right? So it's an adjunct, or it's a beneficial product for every retail company to have this thing to provide. Don't look at this as a conversion product. Although it is called magic mirror, the magic is not going to happen unless and until you use it to the fullest
Yeah.
potential of that product. It is an education device. It is an experiential device. It is also saving you time and effort. There is a possibility that the customer would just come into your store to buy a moisturizing cream, right? But after doing the analysis on the magic mirror, the regime that will get recommended for that customer could add 2 or 3 products. That means you have an opportunity to sell or upsell some additional product, so that your AOV increases, your sale increases. So there are so many salient or direct benefit of having our technology inside the store, rather than just looking at as a conversion device.
So, Manoj, about your funding status. Well, it's no secret that you recently raised 1 crore from Vinita Singh on Shark Tank. So, could you give us some insights into your current
Mhm.
investment status and future plans?
See, look, I think financially, as far as the funding is concerned, there are different avenues have already been looked at. We are in a better stage than where we were probably last year, March, in terms of our funding status. Obviously, there's tremendous inbound interest globally to invest in Orbo, because of the potential that it has to revolutionize the beauty industry across the globe, right? And we are looking at each and every aspect of investment slightly differently. While the money is on the table, we are also looking for partners or investors who can roll up the sleeves, who can be partner in executing our strategy and taking this product to every nook and corner of the world, right? Those are the kind of investors that we are trying to look for in our future fundraise, right? So yeah, that's where we are.
So we also caught a glimpse of other two members standing alongside you while I was watching Shark Tank. So I believe
Mhm.
they were your co-founders, correct?
They are. Danish and Abhit were the first employees of Orbo. Whatever I'm going to say, it's probably going to be less about them. Or rather, would be less if I say so. They've done a tremendous job on building the culture of our company, showing the integrity, showing the passion, showing the resilience in even the worst of times that we've seen, right? And they literally stood like rock next to me in terms of my journey. So a couple of years back when I actually reached out to both of them saying that, look guys, I'm individually steering the ship of Orbo. I need some help here, and I'm actually looking to bring you on board as co-founders. uh, Evidently they obviously never really expected this would happen, but I think all those hard work or that persistence or integrity that they have shown over the years compelled me to bring them on board as a co-founder. And I don't think I would have gone to any other person to make them as a co-founder, other than Abhit and Danish. So I think Orbo is where it is today is because of these two gentlemen's hard work in the tech side, and now they're also moving from tech to other business sides. So they're taking participatory role in driving the business and delivery and execution as well. So hats off to these two gentlemen to be part of Orbo's journey and aligning with me to drive the next set of growth.
All right. So with the three of you, what's the total strength of your team and like how are the roles divided within the organization?
So we're total 35. We are based out of two cities. We primarily our corporate main office is in Mumbai, but we're also based in Noida, where our remaining people are actually working out of Noida. Between Avit, me, and Danish, we have three specific roles. While I look at strategic business and product, Danish looks after delivery, post client success and engagement, and Abid is predominantly focused on AI research.
So Manoj, I want you to take a moment to reflect on Orbo's journey so far. So tell us, what do you attribute to its current status and success? Like any key factors you believe that have propelled Orbo.ai to where it stands today?
No, I think funding aside, the product aside, the technology aside, I think one of the secret sauce of our success or wherever we are today, it's definitely gets attributed towards my team. I think I don't think we would be here if my team wasn't here, right? I think the kind of contribution, kind of work that these people have done, it is outstanding, and outstanding will also be an understatement, right? One of the key KPI that I wanted to share with you, Ankita, here is in my company, the attrition rate is about 3.5%, right? And when I say 3.5%, that means there's one person leaving per year in my company. Now,
Wow.
how many tech companies or startups can actually boast about this kind of an attrition rate, right? And I wouldn't even call that as an attrition rate. It's something that is I call that as an unfortunate rate. The person who leaves us is probably unfortunate, and this is happening, by the way, right? People who have left Orbo are coming back. They want to work with Orbo, right? They want to associate with Orbo. That's the kind of culture that we build, and that is the culture that we wanted to take it forward even if we grow from 35 people to 100 or 200 or 500 people. I think the kind of participation as a founders or as a human being that we've done, or the other way around, the team has done. We've seen marriages of our employees. We've seen kids being born to our employees. We've seen highs and lows of our employees. I mean, we are one good family here, right? And I think the single most benefactor of that family is Orbo, right? The whole team is a biggest attribution to our success.
That's sweet. So are you on the lookout for any potential hires?
We always are looking out for it, right? I mean, we don't have a periodical offering strategy. Rather, we have a very constant offering strategy, in the sense that we are always looking out for people who are willing to make or break things, right? uh, that doesn't mean that you have to come from a pedigree school or a pedigree college, right? We want people with a bit of an adventure, a bit of risk taking ability, bit of breaking the mold kind of personality. Those are the kind of people we are always in lookout for, and that is why we have this culture within Orbo, Ankita, that why people don't want to leave Orbo, because of sheer empowerment, sheer learning experience, being part of the large family, being part of getting to do things, right? I mean, how many companies can actually boast about them giving the empowerment and opportunity to take the risk on their own and drive those things passionately? So our employees take that mantle in their hand to drive those things. Any new hire that comes in, it is no longer my responsibility to explain the culture of Orbo to them. It automatically happens with the help of other employees who are associated with us.
Well, guys, here's your chance to apply and work at Orbo.ai. So, Manoj, keeping in mind that we will be promoting this video to large enterprises, investors, tech giants, and a broader
Mhm,
startup ecosystem altogether, is
mhm,
there anything
mhm.
else you'd like to put down that could help you find any external assistance or support in your concerned areas?
I think I've said it all. I talked about what kind of investors we want, what kind of employees we want, what is our culture, what is our values, right? Where we come from. We're very, very rooted people, right? I mean, we're not the kind of people. In fact, you'll be surprised. I was against of participating in Shark Tank. It was my team who forced me to get onto a Shark Tank and said that people generally talk about the innovation only comes from US, Israel, and other parts of the world, right? And we've always been considered a copycat country where we copy innovation from China, US, and other countries, right? So my employees have been very, very persistent and pushy to a level where I say that, up until now, we've always put our head down and we never really put ourselves out in this, social media or a global platform where, people should recognize the effort that we've
Hmm.
done, right? So I think somewhere down the line that we wanted that recognition, people should understand there's a genuine innovation that is coming out of India, and hence I think we chose the Shark Tank as a platform or a launch pad to showcase, our capabilities and our products.
I'm definitely waiting for your next milestones, and I hope we get to discuss all of those here on Follow Startups as well. So
Sure.
now, Manoj, as we are reaching towards the end of this episode, I think I would like to crank up the excitement with a quick lightning round. Five quick rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So, Manoj, a book that you would like to recommend that has greatly influenced your career.
Seven Habits of Successful Man.
Interesting. Okay. Question number two. Which productivity tool or app do you find most helpful in your daily work?
My notebook.
Okay. Question number three. A fun fact about you that most people don't know yet.
I'm losing the seconds here, but I can, bat and bowl with both hands.
Okay, I think we got to talk about that after the episode. Okay,
Yeah.
question number four. What is your favorite quotation or mantra that you live by?
I never really thought about. I'm sorry, I'll have to pass on this. I never really thought about any mantra as such who could potentially drive me. But
Okay,
yeah,
well, since you decide
yeah,
to pass on this question, I have a fun one for you. So, can you name
sure.
five makeup products that you believe are essential for anyone's complete makeup routine?
So eyeshadow, lipstick, bronzer, foundation, and eyeliner.
Oh my God. Great. And Manoj, what is your one piece of advice for the young audience watching this?
I think just never give up.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Manoj. And one last question. Is there any wish that you would like to make here out loud for your startup that you hope comes true in the near future? Any wish?
I think I would jinx it if I do a wish here because there are a lot of fish. When I have really not spoken about it, they came out true. So I would still store them in my heart, and then maybe it'll find its way out to be in front of the audience somehow.
But I definitely have a wish for you, Manoj. So here's to you becoming the foremost personal beauty advisor in the market. All the very best.
Thank you so much, Ankita, for having me here. It's wonderful chatting with you, and thank you for those lovely questions.
So if you'd like to stay updated with the latest developments and business insights at Orbo.ai, you can follow their channel on follow.us/startups. To feature your startup, you can reach out to me at ankita.pahwa@follow.us. We are eager to hear your story. Thanks for joining.